man with a plan. He's Mr. No.
Taggart, Thursdays at 9 on Central.
Check out the Hotpoint range at Comet. A rock-bottom price, a first-rate brand, and interest-free credit on top. For a hot deal on Hotpoint, you know where to come.
Every day, thousands of savers receive a cheque from Legal & General. A ray of sunshine from the big company with the umbrella.
Great news! The Ribena berries have taken your favourite blackcurrant Ribena and added more vitamins. And as a special offer, they're now giving you 15% extra, free. So that's more vitamins per glass and more glasses per bottle. That's why Ribena is now even better value for money. No wonder they're queuing to get in. Delicious Ribena, now even better value than ever.
The FA Premier League.
Lines it up, finds the net.
Live, only on Sky. For information on how to view Sky Sports, contact your satellite dealer or cable operator.
Oh, yes!
Sky Sports. It's a whole new ball game.
The Hotpoint Aquarius wash system gives outstanding results using less electricity and less water than before. So naturally, Hotpoint Aquarius recommends new Persil Micro system. Its microfine powder goes directly to work, rapidly dispersing in the water. And when you see outstanding results like these, that's when you see the teamwork of new Persil Micro system and Hotpoint Aquarius. That's when you see the whole picture.
Something big has happened in DIY. It's not a limited offer. It's a totally new policy. B&Q have brought down the price of paint. Over 2,000 paints are now all at lower prices, day in, day out. So everyone can afford to splash out. B&Q, why pay pots for paint?
Someone had to take the lead in reducing new car prices, not just for a day or a week or a month, but with real reductions. And who better to clear the air than Rover, with attractive new prices on almost all our cars. Thanks to our advanced manufacturing technology, the quality of our fit and finish is as high as ever. The only reduction is to our prices. Someone had to take the confusion out of buying a quality car. And who better than Rover?
Y'all ready for this?
The first major step on the road to Wembley next March is happening for clubs all over the Midland region with the second round, first leg of the Coca-Cola Cup. Central Sports Special brings you the best analysis of the action plus all the results. Central Sports Special, a Wednesday night of cup football at 10:40.
Move, get out of there!
Wednesday film action at 10 past midnight, part of the Visitors' sci-fi season on Central, Alien.
There's a rare treat in store for sci-fi fans tonight on Central. Following Alien, there's the H.G. Wells story A Multitude of Idols. That's at 2:25. And that's followed by Adventure in the 23rd Century, Star Lost The Return. That's all to come. Now it's the news.
David Mellor tells us live why he won't resign. British Aerospace cuts 3,000 jobs. Comet factory closes. Now the speculators attack the franc. Devaluation may be near. French floods, 29 are dead, 40 are still missing. And Gaza scorches back to help Lazio beat his old team. Good evening. Mr. David Mellor, the Heritage Secretary, said tonight his conscience was clear and that he wouldn't be resigning. He talked about a trial of strength with the tabloid newspapers and said he wasn't going to be hounded out of office. Mrs. Judith Mellor told ITN her husband had the fullest support of the people who matter. She said everyone knows he's the only person who can do the job. Earlier, Mr. Mellor seemed to suggest he might quit if his staying embarrassed anyone, as he put it. I'll be talking to him live in a few moments. First, a report by our political correspondent Mark Webster on Mr. Mellor's recent controversial career and the pressure he's coming under to go.
Blooded but most definitely unbowed, David Mellor remains determined to try and ride the storm and stay in office. There's obviously an awful lot of pressure on you at the moment.
No, there isn't a lot of pressure on me at the moment. I'm getting on with doing my job. It's business as usual here, and I'm just going out to carry out a public engagement, and that's what I'm doing.
But some senior Tories are saying that you're now an embarrassment to the party.
I think that that is not the view that I'm carrying.
And what?
But anyway, I'm getting on and doing my job, okay?
But the latest in a stream of newspaper stories talks of Mr. Mellor and his family living like royalty as the guests of an Arab sheikh. Billionaire Sheikh Zayed of Abu Dhabi allegedly gave the Mellors lavish hospitality, though British government sources say Mr. Mellor did carry out some ministerial duties there. After the publicity blitz on the libel trial bought by Mona Bowens over a free holiday for the Mellors, today it was her ex-husband who talked about what it was like being a guest of the sheikh in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, it's great. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about where you're going to sleep, what you're going to do. Everything's taken care of for you. It's great.
Since July, when the story of Mr. Mellor's alleged relationship with actress Antonia de Sancho was first published, there's been a series of stories about the Heritage Secretary. That's led to complaints from government of trial by tabloid as the press smelt blood. But within Westminster, the publicity has also steadily eroded Mr. Mellor's support within the party, though probably for fear of offending the Prime Minister, few Tories will call publicly for him to go.
I believe that he should consider stepping down because a lot of people are interested in what he has done, and there are many people, many colleagues of his, who believe that his behaviour has been unwise.
Correct.
And Labour joined the call.
I think none of these stories of themselves would be sufficient to warrant more than a severe reprimand, perhaps. But taken together, I think they have seriously undermined the credibility of this minister.
But with the Cabinet much more concerned about the economy and the Maastricht Treaty, the critical question is how far the Prime Minister will go in defending his friend and colleague if demands from the party grow for him to quit. Mark Webster, News at 10, Westminster.
David Mellor is in the studio with me now. Mr. Mellor, you said tonight, if my remaining in government embarrasses anyone, I will go. Isn't it clear that it does and that you should?
No, not at all. You must remember that when the story about Antonia de Sancho broke in July, I made it clear then I was willing to resign. The Prime Minister and my senior colleagues took the view that I shouldn't resign and it wasn't necessary to resign. A number of tabloid newspapers took a different view. Since then, I have been sustained by the support of the Prime Minister, my senior colleagues, the people in my department, the people whose interests my department looks after in the arts and sport. I have been attacked by tabloid newspapers, one or two of whom are used to having their advice taken by Prime Ministers and who have determined to take everything that they can and throw it at me, whether fair or foul. I've made it clear that I'm in my colleagues' hands. I made it clear I would go in July. They've made it clear they want me to stay. I'm getting on with the job. The question is whether it's the Prime Minister or the tabloid editors who determine who should serve in the British Cabinet.
Well, as you may or may not know, I think you probably do, that the Prime Minister wrote to Brian Gould tonight, and in a lengthy letter explaining the position about the Mrs. Bowens allegations, he finishes and says, "It was a purely personal matter, did not touch on his ministerial responsibilities or place him under any obligation in respect of his ministerial duties. You're off the hook, but when do you run out of political capital?"
Well, I think that depends on how people view this constant war of attrition by the tabloids. What is absolutely clear, and the Prime Minister has made clear after the most thorough check, is that there was no reason for me to make any disclosure about a personal holiday that my family took with Mona Bowens and her daughter. Now we hear that they're raising a visit I made as the guest of the President of the UAE. a visit which was a great honour for me to be invited by the president of one of the great friends of Britain to actually stay with him and to carry out official business there, as well as be there with my family. That is now being made out to be a freebie holiday. But you'll recall, Alistair, that when the Gulf War was about to start, and we were absolutely determined that we should have proper support from our friends.